Welcome students. Now we will discuss the chemistry paper, JEE Mains 2021 third phase, third shift, 20th shift 1. Benzene has vapor pressure of 70 tar and methyl benzene, that is toluene, has 20 tar. If we have the equimolar mixture of both, then find the mole fraction of benzene in vapor phase. So already direct questions which are there in today's paper. Mostly all are memory based, otherwise direct formula based. So we say benzene and toluene will form an ideal solution. So benzene toluene when forms an ideal solution, in a solution if it is equimolar mixture, that is if you assume the benzene mole fraction as XA is of benzene and XB of toluene is nothing but benzene, methyl benzene. So now we want to calculate the mole fraction of benzene in vapor phase, that is Ya. So where we have simple formula for this, we have to calculate. But we already say from the Raoult's law, the Henry's law applications is saying it, P naught A XA equal to P total into A. So P naught A's are given, but P total also we can write it as P naught A XA plus P naught B XB to YA. So now XA and XB are, because equimolar mixture is there, so XA is equal to 1 by 2 and XB is also 1 by 2. So now P naught A, that is of toluene, benzene 70 and toluene is 20. So if you write 70 into 1 by 2, that is 70 into 1 by 2 plus 20 into 1 by 2 Ya. So solving this is nothing but 35. This is 35 plus 10, 45. So Ya is 35 by 45. So we have to just write in the numerical form. Okay. Coming to the next. Which of the following does not undergo or disproportionate? So what is this? This is the based on the maxima and minimum oxidation state possessed by an element. So what is the bromine oxidation states here? Possibilities. Bromine can have an oxidation state of, that is minimum oxidation state of -1 and maximum oxidation state of +7. So if a compound which has disproportionation ability, that should undergo both reduction and oxidations. So for both reduction and oxidations, the element should be, that bromine or any element which undergo disproportionation should be in between these two. If it is this, it can undergo only oxidation. If it has +7, it can only undergo reduction. So here bromine oxidation states in BRO minus is +1, here it is +3, here it is +5, here it is +7. So it is having the maximum oxidation state. So it can only undergo reduction but not oxidation. So this cannot undergo disproportion. Next. This is the another one. P4O10 plus HNO3 are mixed in 1:4 ratio, then the nature of the nitrogen oxide obtained will be. So it's again one more simple, that P4O10 nature. So what is P4O10? P4O10 behaves as P4O10 behaves as dehydrating agent. So, P4O10 is dehydrating agent. So, when HNO3 is treated with P4O10, loss of water will be there and you will get the nitrogen clear. NO, that is HNO N2O5. What is the nature of N2O5? So, it will be acidic. So, it is clear. Next. Which of the following most easily economically refined by fractional distillation? So, already we know what is fractional distillation technique we can use in this there of metallurgy chapter. So, the element which has the lower boiling points can be distilled easily. So, among these zinc, nickel, copper and iron which will have the lowest boiling point. Zinc has, since as you go in the period like in the D block elements, it increases, then it starts decreasing. Then zinc has the least. It is the direct theory based question. So, it is directly the zinc. Clear? Okay. Next. So, some simple questions are there. Mostly theory based was we see. Next. Products A and B for the following reactions are as follows. KMnO4 in water, that is mostly like a diluted KMnO4. So, we already say this is cold dilute alkaline KMnO4 type. So, it is like Bayer's reagent, cold dilute alkaline KMnO4 type. So, it will undergo like hydroxylation. So, the A will give hydroxide, that is also syn hydroxides you can say. So, A is this. Then about B, KMnO4 on heating in acidic condition, then it is cleaving the carbon-carbon bond which is having the hydrogen, it will convert that carbon into carboxylic acid. So, this carbon has a hydrogen, this carbon has a hydrogen. So, both these carbons will be converted to COOH groups. So, you have COOH here, this is also converted to C. So, B is dicarboxylic and this is clear. You will have an options I think this. Next. The number of lone pairs present on I3 minus. So, it is the previous IIT question. So, it is actually on central atom, it is different, and if it is on, let us say, total lone pair of electrons, if we count it, it will be different. So, the answer is whether the question which is memory based, we have seen this question has some have given as central atom, whether it is central atom or lone pair, we will see anyhow. I3 minus, the structure of I3 minus is linear, it is sp3 dehybridized having 3 lone pairs I and I and I. So, at this iodine you have 3 lone pairs, and this iodines both are having again 3 lone pairs. So, if you are considering the total number of lone pairs according to the question as it is now is here is 9, but if they are asking specifically on the central atom, then it will be 3. Okay. So, on central atom it will be 3, total number of lone pairs is 9. Okay. So, it can be A or D depending on the perfect question. The next. Which of the following will form superoxide? So, actually if you say that theoretically the pure superoxides are actually superoxides are formed by 1A elements mainly. That too, lithium forms mainly oxide, sodium forms peroxide, potassium, rubidium and cesium mainly form superoxides. So, the potassium which is of 1A element, potassium, calcium and magnesium will form mainly like oxide or peroxides, sodium forms peroxide mainly. So, the direct question it is again the theory based. See, most of the questions of inorganic are there, chemical bonding which are there, mostly they are theory based and direct theory, theory questions what we generally discuss during the classes. So, if you are perfect with the classes and basic things, it is easy in this paper for us to score. So, let us concentrate mainly on when you are students of the next sessions going into it. You should be careful enough with the NCERT books, because most of the questions are also directly from the NCERT. Here, if you see some theory questions which we have. Determine the azimuthal quantum number of last electron of gallium plus ion. So, where gallium belongs, we know already. That is, the gallium belongs to the boron family, boron, aluminum, gallium. So, it is the second period, this is the third period, it is the fourth period. So, what is the outer electronic configuration of gallium? Because when you remove the electron, electrons will go from the outer valency shell. So, it is nothing but 4s2, 4p1 for the gallium atom. For the gallium ion, that is Ga plus, that is 4s0, sorry 4s2, 4p0, that is the last electron that is present in S. So, S will have azimuthal quantum number L. Answer is okay. Simple questions. Wave number of the spectral line in the emission spectrum of hydrogen will be equal to 8 by 9 times of the Rydberg constant if the electron jumps from. So, in hydrogen, so we have directly again see all that direct formula question. So, what is nu bar according to the Rydberg equation, that is RH into, for hydrogen like species or hydrogen it is Z square, for hydrogen Z is 1. So, RH into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. So, he said this is nothing but RH is into 8 by 9. So, RH 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. So, this question if you go on solving it, it is instead of that better, because you can't solve the two variables without any two equations. So, we have only one equation. So, how to do it? It is a simple. If you substitute the values as N1 and N2 values, so N1 value will take generally lower, N2 value is higher. So, if you take 3 and 1, then it is 1 square and 3 square. So, that it will be 8 by 9 overall. So, this will be equal to 8 by 9 when it is 3 and 1. So, this is direct. If you write 5 and 3, 3 square and 5 square, then it won't be 8 by 9. 1 and 4, then it won't be 1 by 8 by 9. So, it is directly 3:1. Okay. Next. See, both of these questions were of like mainly related to the atomic structure. You have totally four questions totally in this atomic structure. When 250 ml of 0.5 m NaOH is added to 1 m 500 ml of HCl, what is the final concentration of HCl that remains? So, anyhow, he is directly saying it, the question itself, HCl is excess. So, when you add NaOH and HCl, what is generally an acid base reaction? So, NaOH will react with HCl and will form NaCl and water. So, how many milli equivalents of NaOH is taken? So, milli equivalents, millimoles otherwise, because molarity is given, millimoles of, let us say we take. So, NaOH plus HCl is giving NaCl plus water. So we are multiplying the molarity and volume, but volume is in ml, so we will get millimoles. So millimoles of NaOH is 250 into 0.5, that is 125. This is 1 into 500, that is 500. Right? Now, how many? 1 mole will react. So 125 millimoles, 125 millimoles will react. So how many millimoles of HCl will be left? This will be consumed. So in this 375 will be left. But 375 millimoles are left in the total volume, that is 250 and 500. So the total effective concentration, that is HCl left, will be number of millimoles left, that is 375 by 500 plus 250 is nothing but 750. So it is nothing but 1 by 2 times, that is nothing but 0.5. Simple calculations also for us. Okay. See the things. So not much difficulty is there in chemistry paper. It is so simple, very simple. Fundamentals, most of the questions. In which of the following resonance is not possible? What is condition for the resonance? The pi electron cloud and the positive charge, or pi electron cloud or negative charge, or they must be in alternative position, that is we say conjugated position. Then they are said to be conjugated. So here the pi bond and positive charge are alternative, one sigma bond is there in between them. So it is conjugated. So resonance exists in this. So resonance is there in this. So this cannot be our option, because he said no resonance should be there. But here the pi electron cloud and the positive charge is there on the same carbon, on which the pi bond and double bond, otherwise pi bond, positive charge both exist. So this is one option. So resonance is not there here. So this is your option. And in this it is there again. So resonance is there again. So it is not your option. So this is not your option. So anyhow, 1 should not be there. 2 should be there. And this is also again. This pi bond, this positive charge are not in a alternative position, conjugated position. This is also your answer. So resonance won't exist in 2 and 4. Simple. Then next. Determine the number of nitrogen atoms in semi-carbazide. So again, see, the question is, he didn't ask the what is happening when the aldehyde or ketone are reacting with semi-carbazide. He simply asked how many nitrogens are there in the semi-carbazide. So semi-carbazide formula we know already. What is semi-carbazide is? Semi-carbazide is this. NH2, C double bond O, NH, NH2. So how many nitrogens are there? 3. See, a simple question. So it's based on the fundamentals. So you have to be strong in the fundamentals for us. Determine the product formed when 3-bromo 2,2-dimethyl butane reacts with ethanol at higher temperatures. Is it clear? So now what is the reaction? So 3. Let us write the structure first. 3-bromo 2,2-dimethyl butane. Butane means C. We will write total CH3, CH3. This is 2,2-dimethyl. Let us say this is second. So it is CH3 and CH3. Numbering from here. Then it is bromine here, Br. When you react with ethanol, is CTOH or CH2, C2H5OH. Then what should happen? Because solvent is there when you are heating it. Solvent is there at higher temperature, he said. So at higher temperature, what should happen? Generally, elimination can occur. Clear? So Br can be lost. Then you will get a methyl group here. Methyl group shifts. So first Br is lost. We get a carbocation CH3, CH plus, CH, CH3, CH3 like this. But we have a quaternary carbon. This is a secondary. Then a methyl shift takes place. So that we will get CH3, carbocation will rearrange CH3, CH3, CH3 plus. Then higher temperature heated, so elimination favors. If it is not higher temperature, maybe specifically see the question carefully. If it is specifically at higher temperature, then elimination should occur. So then it will lose H plus and will give a alkene, that is CH3, C double bond C, CH3, CH3 and CH3. So 2,3 dimethyl butadiene. Okay. Then students, simple fundamental questions which we say. If a person requires 10,000 kilojoules of energy per day, if delta H of combustion of glucose is 2,700 kilojoules per mole, how many grams of glucose are required by the body in a day? So a person requires 10,000 kilojoules per day. So what is delta H combustion? So delta HC of glucose is given was as 2700 kilojoules per mole. We generally say it is exothermic, that is released will be gained by the body. So if it is 1 mole of glucose, that is molecular weight is C6H12O6 is a molecular formula. So molecular weight will be 180. That means 180 grams of glucose mole, meaning so 180 grams of glucose is giving 2,700 kilojoules. But if he requires 10,000 kilojoules per day, how many grams of glucose he has to consume for the day? That's it. So it is direct, that is 10,000 by 2700. Zeros you can cancel. So approximately it is 1800 by 27. So 1800 by 27, how much we can get? You can just see approximated, that is 66 points. Clear? Because 180 by 27 is somewhere that. So how much we are having now? Let us see. 18,000. Sorry, we have 18,000 by 27. So it is 666. So not this one. This will be the answer. Clear? Just seeing that number. 10,000 only. Clear? Simple thing. Orlan is a polymer of. See the direct theory question again. Polymers, if you read, Orlan is nothing but a polymer of an acrylonitrile vinyl. Here, cyanide. So acrylonitrile, vinyl cyanide, vinyl nitrile. The question is direct theory based question. A. Direct theory based question. There is no need. Which of the following pairs do not have the same nature? So if you are seeing the compounds which are there here, this is BOH taken thrice is nothing but H3BO3, boric acid. This is phosphorus acid, both are acids. This is beryllium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide. Beryllium and aluminum will form an amphoteric metals, amphoteric hydroxides. Oxides and hydroxides are amphoteric. There is a diagonal relationship also, you can see. Even boron and now aluminum, this is acidic, this is amphoteric. This is basic, because 1A, 2A hydroxides are generally, let us say, except beryllium there, they are basic in nature, alkaline in nature. So it is now the single thing. This is acidic, both were acidic. In this, both are amphoteric. Here, both are basic. But this is acidic, this is amphoteric. So, for us, the answer will be C. Simple thing. You have been so many times you have been seeing these compounds. Not a difficult level question. Statement: dihedral angle of hydrogen peroxide in gas phase is 90 degrees. Dihedral angle of hydrogen peroxide in solid phase is, or solid, is 1119 degrees. So, dihedral angle is this already. If you know that it's an open book structure. O, H and H. So, if you write like open book stripe structure, clear. So, this angles, lone pair is there, lone pair this way you can write. So, this angle we call it as dihedral angle. It is like this actually, up. So, this angle is a dihedral angle, but in gas phase it is 111.5 degrees. In solid phase it is 90.2 degrees. So, it is again direct theory. In NCERT we have structure of hydrogen peroxide from that direct theory question. So, you have to concentrate in lines, some line in NCERT direct questions. Okay. Coming to the next question. See again one more direct theory question, which was actually this one I3 minus and this Tyndall effect question once came in 2 years or 3 years back, in even in IIT. Some previous IIT questions are also helping us for scoring easily here in this. So, which condition requires to show Tyndall effect by the colloidal solution? Refractive indices of dispersed phase and dispersion medium must differ largely. They should not be same. For the diffraction to happen, then the Tyndall effect to show the dispersed phase and dispersion medium should not have the same refractive index, refraction to happen. So, answer is directly, it is there in NCERT as a 2 condition for the Tyndall effect to show. From that it is a direct question again. Okay then? Let us see one. This is the last one what we collected, but other questions which are there which we collected but unable to show now. Let us see. And hybridization of xenon in XeOF4. So, when you see the predicting the hybridization of this, so XeOF4 has how many lone pairs? XeOF4 has totally 1 lone pair, and 5 bond pairs. Because you can just write simple methods also for that xenon central atom, write that element electrons in form of numbers. So, 8 valence electrons will be there, 8. Then xenon with oxygen can form 2 bonds. 2 electrons will be utilized for oxygen, and fluorine forms only 1 bond. So, each fluorine requires 1. So, these are nothing but bond pairs, that is 5. Remaining electrons you are pairing it as a lone pairs. So, this is 1 lone pair. So, total will be 6. So, when the total hybridized orbitals is 6, because lone pair and bond pair can exist in hybridized orbital, it is 6. So, hybridization is sp3 2. Done? This, students. So, this is the simple that what you have the questions at the easy level or little bit normal moderate level question. Clear? So, what we have for the first morning session. Okay, students.